Welcome, welcome. This is Marnie Swedberg, and you are joining us for session one of the series picking the brains of some of the expert presenters at the WEF, the Women's Economic Forum, that's occurring in Bangalore, India today and online around the world. I'm so excited to have you here. And during this session, we are going to be talking about how to think about launching something new, launching a new business, a new ministry, a new project. Before you launch, there's some things that you should know, things that we wish somebody would have told us before we launched our first big thing. And so I'm excited to bring on some of the speakers from WEF, and we're going to do it one by one. And then as we have time during this session, we will also do some roundtables. If you have questions, please feel free to put those in the comment section, and we will get to as many of those as possible. Our first guest today is Connie Pheiff. She's the author of 4 books, the founder of Talent Concierge, Unstoppable Together, Activating My Power Community, and Pheiff Group Speaking Agency. She is, you can reach her at her website, talentconcierge.co, or also over at LinkedIn under her name, Connie Pheiff, Pheiff. Connie, welcome to you.
Hi, good morning.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here. And like we were saying before we came on air, finally we get to meet. We have these online relationships for sometimes years or even decades. And then finally, hi, it's really you.
Best friends.
Right. So true. So true. Well, it is awesome to have you here. And obviously, I'm going to put that one back up here for a second, because obviously from your bio, and I know you are like #1 ranked radio personality. I mean, you've got all kinds of awards going on too. You have actually launched many new things. And I'm so excited to just ask you the question, what do you just wish somebody would have told you before you started launching stuff?
I wish someone would have told me to do it sooner.
Oh,
yes.
Don't wait to get it perfect.
Don't wait to get it perfect. Yes. And I come out of corporate. I was a CEO. So starting my own business, of course, it was image. I have to get this right. I can't do it until I have this right, because people are looking at me. But I quickly learned, after a lot of bumps in the roads, after a lot of trials, that, you know what, if I had just did it, not worried about what other people were thinking, and just jumped in, and, you know, you pivot along the way. Right. I wish I had known that. I would have started so much sooner.
Oh my goodness. So Seth Godin says that you don't have to worry so much about the mistakes, because if a mistake could really kill you, then also one little publicity blurb could make you famous. And so we'd all be rich and famous, right? So then we'd all actually be broke and out of business if every mistake could kill us.
That's
so so how do you actually process that thought now going forward? You're at kind of a level now where you've started many things.
Yeah.
So when you think about starting something new now, of course you have all your history to bring forward into it.
Right.
So now how do you start something new?
Now, when I'm ready to start something new, it's that the mindset is different. It definitely shifted, and I just go in and I just go at it. I've actually started programs with an idea, and brought it back to the team and said, here's an idea. I see a need. Let's fulfill this need. And I bring it back, and we just go at it like gangbusters, and we launch it. There is no hesitation. There is no, do we have all our T's crossed, our I's dotted? I mean, you do want to have some clarity when you do put something out, but it's just completely shifted in how we do. Before, it took me 2 years to start my first business.
Sure.
Now it takes me about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, okay, this is huge. And I feel like the piece of this I want to grab onto right now is the word need. So if you have a brilliant idea, but nobody needs it, probably don't launch a business.
Probably not. You could have the greatest passion, and this is your baby. But if nobody needs it, It's just going to sit there. And when it sits there, of course, it's going to affect you, because why doesn't anybody need this? And just like when I, lost my job with Girl Scouts, I mean, I was a CEO. So, okay, I'll start a business. And I waited for the phone to ring. The phone didn't ring.
Yeah.
And I thought, but people know me. It didn't ring.
Right. How can this happen to me?
Right. So
Life is so unfair.
right. And that was part of the hesitation.
Yeah.
And like I said, then I became a seminar junkie. I went to every program that I could, because again, before in my corporate seat, I could have somebody else just pick up the phone and say, hey, could you do this? And you do this. So I was directing the team. And then now I had to step in a place where I was doing it all.
You're the team.
I was the team. I remember calling my former assistant. Now we're talking 13 years ago.
Right.
And I thought, okay, nobody's calling me. I'm going to do a mailing. So I had, I have a massive database, and I thought, okay, I need to mail merge. This is me in my mind 13 years ago. I called my former assistant and I said, how do I mail merge? That was her reaction too. She's like, I can't stop laughing so hard. She goes, first of all, nobody mail merges anymore. And she said, and you're going to do it? I was like, yes, I'm going to do it. So from that, I decided I was going to learn everything that I needed to learn about AI and technology and social media, and just fully understand that platform, because there are so many people like me that have been successful and finding themselves needing their plan B, or they want to go into a new venture and take their knowledge and skills and what they have to do it, but they don't know how to get there. And that's the need that I've seen initially, and said, that's what I have to do. But there were programs within I would start, and again, nothing happened. And going back to your original question, what do you do if there isn't a need for it? Find what that need is, and then turn your passion into something that's going to solve that need.
Yes, exactly. Find the angle. The angle. Yeah.
Find the angle.
It's probably there.
Yes, most likely it is.
Oh, well, Connie, I know you're going to speak on AI just in a few minutes over at WEF, and I want to let you go, but I'm going to actually take your photo down. Stay here with us if you can. I'm going to bring you back on in a minute. But just stay with us, and then I'm going to introduce our next guest.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much. All right. And our next guest is Taryn Anderson. She's joining us from Barcelona, Spain. Welcome to you. She's the CEO and co-founder of Impulse for Women and the Investor Relations Director of the CAP Venture Capital. You can reach her over at impulseforwomen.org and also at her LinkedIn page, Taryn Anderson. Welcome to you.
Hi. Good morning. Thank you very much, Marnie, for inviting me.
Yeah. What time is it?
Here it's 1 o'clock.
Afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. Okay, we're early morning here in the U.S. So great to meet you here, and just congratulations on all that you have accomplished so far, and looking forward to what you're yet to do in your life. But I want to pick your brain right now. If somebody could have given you a piece of advice before you launched your first big thing, what would you wish they had told you?
Well, basically, my first point would be the agreement partners and how to choose partners to raise a startup. Basically, because when things are just an idea and you are happy, you're just all the passion and all the happiness that you are going to develop it. Yes, everything is super easy. The point is when we have to start to applicate our mindset, the strategies that where we want to go, how, then it could be very tough and rough to try to develop something that when the mindsets are not the same, or also there's some could be also partners that they only want to give you money, but they're not having any pushing or helping from they're not helping you to develop. So you have to be very clear where you want to go, with who do you want to go, the mindset, the knowledge, how to be all of us complements. Because could be someone super good to have an engineer on your team. Also, it's super important to have someone in sales and marketing. But sometimes one with the other one is not going to be realized. That you're not going to write the objective. Right. But you have to be very clear that whatever you're doing, the main reason why in a portfolio of a venture capital is going out, the startups, is because the partners. It's like a marriage. Actually, it's the same.
It is. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about, first of all, that energy that you go into it with, and that's not going to last. It is called the new idea high, and it carries us for a while. And then the reality of the hard work of actually doing this business day in, day out, handling all the challenges. That's the reality. So then you're talking about all of your partners, and I want to redefine partners here as anybody that you need to make this baby go. Could be your customers, could be your vendors, could be your associates, your employees. You've got all these people who you have to partner with. And like you said, it's kind of like a marriage. The difference is, like a marriage, you want to make that one work forever. A partnership, actually, you can move through phases and stages with that. But when you're choosing a partner, can you tell us one character quality that you have to have in a partner that you choose, Taryn?
Well, I guess that someone that is also brave, resilient, very resilient, and with a very open mind, because you could start in A, but 1 year or 16 months later, your business unit is going to another place, and you have to turn to another place, and you cannot be intolerant, because it's super difficult then to move over and to improve and to scale, and sometimes you have to take some risk, for sure. All of us, what we want is take risk with a kind of be sure that what you're doing is correct. But if you make a mistake, as you were talking before in the other with Corinne, mistakes could take you a lot of time, and you have to be able to turn over at the less time as possible.
Okay, this is great. And I'm going to bring Connie back, because I know both of you ladies are only with us for a few more minutes here, and I do want to get your responses to this. So I know we kind of shifted the page up on you here. Thank you so much. All right. So as you, Connie, as you listened to Terrence, and then I'm going to flip it back to Taryn, I want you to talk about getting going before you're ready. Connie, first, your response to Terrence's partnership thought. What is your thought on that?
I was shaking my head, and that is absolutely correct. Yeah. Especially because when you're starting out, or you're looking at a new project, or even when you're midway through, because actually right now I'm looking for partners, and a partner brings the skills, brings tools that you may not have. So if you want to launch and scale the business very quickly, having a partner is really important, and it could really help you do that.
Right. And I loved the point that really struck me, and you said it so beautifully, Taryn, was to make sure that your partner is the kind of person that can flex.
Yeah.
Because it's so different when you're hiring somebody into an existing established government or large corporation. You're assigning them a set of rules. This is what you're going to do every single day. Do it exactly this way. And that's not what you're looking for in a new launch.
No.
Yeah, that will kill you.
And another big detail, I always try to employ or hire people that they're looking for the project much more than the salary. When someone is involved with the project, then you can give them everything, because they're going to push with you, and they're going to feel like this is also for them. So it changed so much the way that they're working and they interact for the company.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that they had that commitment.
And passion.
Right. And the passion, and they want to see the business grow. And right. And it is more than the salary a lot of times, because I have some people that'll come to me and they want to learn the business, because we have such depth in so many different verticals and so many different businesses, but they want to learn the business. And when I see that they do have that passion, that means they're going to have a drive, and they're going to be, like you said, waking up every day thrilled and excited to be working with their brand. So that is really, really key to that.
Yeah, huge. Okay, Taryn, back to you real quick about starting before you feel ready.
Well, we're going to go on with the gender. That's not going with females. Females need to have everything completely worked out before they make one step forward.
That's the first sign of failure, right? Needing that all done.
Yes, actually, because through Impulse for Women, I'm working with females. We are supporting females entrepreneurs, and we connect them with investors. And as an investor, I saw the lack that females, the way that the relationship that they have with investors is very different than with males. And for investors, it's very difficult to find out the females because we're all of us split off. So you get the need in the market, you say it, and we started Impulse for Women like, oh, I'm working in my venture capital, and then started to grow and grow and grow. And I was like, well, someone starts to have to be there running and trying to push. And yes, well, I don't know. To me, it happened like that. But I think that females especially, we take much more, we're much more rationals when we are taking over or we want to go forward with something.
Mm-hmm.
Connie?
I absolutely agree with her. And especially when you're looking for VCs, it's definitely different from a female and a male, and preparing them and prepping them even to have the conversation, because you're right. You know, as women, we want everything to be perfect and ready to go and package. And you do want that. But with males, it's like, here it is. I got to put it together, go. And so it is definitely different working with both genders. And, I honestly, I'll have to say, I really do enjoy working with men because they're just like, let's go. We're going to get this done. So, and then looking at that on the flip side, again, getting ready to go. I also, I look at it, the stats of women and women that rise to the top and women that find themselves in the C-suite, and it's increasing. And then on the reverse of that, you look at the companies that do well, and it's the women that are in the C-suite is a much greater percentage of the companies that are doing well versus the companies that are being led by men. So I find that interesting as well, too. So that skill that we have as women really does pay off, but it takes a little bit longer to push them across the line.
Yeah. Taryn, your thought on that?
Absolutely. I agree with her. Actually, we are long-term, always.
Yeah.
Sometimes as a venture capital, I'm afraid, like, don't tell me that the company is for your kids, because females sometimes think like that. Right. We're like, wow, that if you're coming to venture capital, you don't know what is it, but I know I need an exit. So
you're right.
Tell me 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, but I have to go off. And females is always super long-term mindset, and also thinking in community. That's a very nice surprise. When we started we do have social impact projects in Impulse for Women, and also for regardless gender, and also females, founders, co-founders. 80% of the females are social impact.
Right. Incredible. Right. They rise to the top in businesses with social services, social impact. And that's more of what they give. But I've been seeing the reverse on that recently. I've been in a lot of these type of programs, and one a couple of weeks ago around small business, and it was heavily attended by men. And the overall topic of communication was social impact.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. So it was nice to hear it.
Well, I know that both of you ladies have places you need to go and be. I want to give you each a chance to just give us a parting thought. So, Connie, for the women who are just thinking of starting something new, what would you say?
I would say go out and do it. It doesn't matter what it is. I first started my business as a coach for nonprofit executives. Today, my business is much different.
Yeah.
So just start, and you could pivot along the way, and you can shift to where it works for you. So just start.
I love that. God bless you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Marnie.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Taryn, last thoughts from you.
Well, actually, I want to say to females that you don't have to be an engineer to become an entrepreneur. Come on, you always have a lot of engineers outside in the market that you can hire them, and they make a very good job as well.
There we go.
You have to go. You have the same abilities, and the females have something very, very good. We are resilience. We got it in our DNA. So come on, we can do it.
You can do it. You know what? I love what you just said about the engineers. You can hire an engineer. And honestly, you guys, you can hire pretty much anybody. You can hire, I hire so many outsourcers. It's just unbelievable. Sometimes I hire them for 1 hour or 1 week, 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, or 10 years. But you can hire what you don't know how to do. It's okay. Get going.
Sure.
Taryn, God bless you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Well, this is Marnie Swedberg. If you're just joining us, we are talking about how to launch something new. And we have another guest that's waiting in the wings here. I want to bring on Manasa. Manasa is the CEO of Brand House Network Marketing Communication. She's advocate, fundraiser, and developer and brand manager from Mumbai, India. Welcome to you, Manasa.
Thank you, Marnie.
And I know we have a little teeny time lag across the continents here, but that's okay. And actually, the WEF conference that we're involved in today, Women's Economic Forum, is in Bangalore, and so excited to have you here with us.
Thank you so much.
Okay, your turn. So speaking to a woman who is just getting ready to launch something new, what do you wish someone would have told you before you launched?
So it's actually what my father said just before I launched this business. He said, have everything written down end to end and have a backup plan, everything written down end to end. So you know if this fails, you have something going next. It's
okay.
When we tend to get into business, we just take off on ideas. So you would rather have everything written down and you focus it. So you know you have to follow these steps. You have to get all of these done. You have to get everything in a row.
When you said have a backup plan, tell us more about what you mean by that.
By backup plan, I mean, see, not everyone is cut to make an entrepreneur. Not every idea, not every company, not every plan is going to work exactly how you envisioned it would. That shouldn't stop you from doing what you want to do in life. That shouldn't stop you from succeeding. So you have to have, what if this fails? I give myself X number of months or X number of years for this to work. Once this is done, what if this fails? Where do I go back?
Got it.
Do you have a fallback option? Do you have something to take you ahead in life?
That's so interesting. So I never really think about it like that. But of course, I think how I think about that same concept, you're saying it differently than I would say. I always say to hold your idea in an open hand, so that here's my idea and I'm fully going for this idea. I mean, I am invested. This is what I'm doing. And I'm not thinking it's going to fail. I'm not thinking about any of that. However, it's different from holding the idea in this kind of a hand. When I hold it in here, if it fails, I'm toast. It was my only idea. If I hold it in here, also, I'm eliminating some of the things that could come in to change it, to make it better, like that. Holding it like this allows us to have that flexibility to say, okay, this isn't working, or okay, it's working, but not the way I thought. I need to really radically shift this. So I think, is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes, it is actually. It's also how you entirely approach your idea, or how you approach the little parts that aren't working. How do you work around this? So you don't look at it entirely as one big project. You look at it as tiny packets that you can
Beautiful.
Immediately stop and change right there.
Right. So how do you actually go about writing it down? What system do you use?
I'm very old school. I have a pen and paper. Go right to it. Start from the basics.
Yes.
Where are you planning to take this? what exactly is what is your end target? What do you plan to achieve with this? What are the resources that you need for this? Who do you need to contact?
So in this way, when
All of
you're
that.
doing the writing down all of the details, which is such a great idea, we would call that like a business plan. Is that what you're doing? Like every competitor, every idea, every product, every like that?
Even before the business plan, there is a
Before.
backup research that you have to do, that
Okay.
you need to have everything in hand from where you can draw up your business plan saying, okay, now that I have identified the entire landscape, this is exactly the kind of need gap that I am addressing. Here in this particular spot, there are so many competitors that I have. In this particular spot, there are so many people that I need to partner with or that I need to be
Yes.
around. And these are the kind of people that I would be working with in the future. And this probably is where it'll be 5 years from now, or 5 months from now, for that matter.
So what your dad's advice to you was, do all that thinking before you even start acting.
See, I quit a very, very lucrative job with one of the biggest QSR brands in the world. And I was in a very good position there. And then I wanted to give up all of that to become an entrepreneur. So he said, unless you're absolutely sure that you want to do this,
Don't walk away from your day job.
it's not happening. Do not do that. So, and
Yes,
it was funny
yes.
because my bosses at my company as well, when I first said I want to do something on my own, they started laughing. And they're like, no, you're not quitting a job. That's not happening. You want to do something on the side? It's fine. We'll support you. And I said, no, I am actually planning to do this. So the plan that I had to present to my parents, I had to present to my bosses as well. It was a huge group of people that I had to convince, saying, yes, I want to give up a full-time job to do
This is
this.
what I'm doing. Yeah. No, that's such great advice. Such great advice. Manasa, I am going to say, first of all, thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to actually take you off screen and I'm going to bring on another guest, but stay with us because I want to bring you back. Okay. Thank you. If you're just joining us, we're talking about what to think about before you launch a business. And I'm excited to bring on right now Alicia San. Alicia,
Hi.
welcome to you.
Welcome. Hi.
The Mineral Spa. What time is it where you are?
Just 12:30
In the afternoon?
Afternoon. I'm speaking from UK. And I'm
UK,
really
yes.
to be here.
Oh, well, it's so great to have you. So if someone were to say, what do you wish you could have known before you launched your first project, what would it be?
I think what I wished I would known, I would exactly wished I know who am I? Because I think being an entrepreneur, it taught me to learn more about myself. And also the second part of it, often as entrepreneurs, we're focusing on a business, but focusing on yourself and on your health. And I truly believe that your health is the first pillar of your success, and the mindset is the first step to get you there. So I've been trying different things, but once I started really focusing on the health and on the mindset, things started rolling. The other thing I also think is don't be afraid to take steps, and it doesn't matter that some people don't resonate with you. I know it's difficult.
That's huge.
It's resentful. You can feel resentful when people don't resonate with you, but you have to understand really who your avatar is when you're running a business. And I have to say, I'm constantly learning. So yes, that's one of those things.
Awesome. There's so many things in there I want to pick your brain about a little bit more. So as short of answers as you can here for time's sake, but avatars. So you're saying before you start, number one, know who you are, but number two, know who you're going to serve, right?
Yes. So number one, who you are. Well, for quite a long time, I was figuring out. It took me 40 years really to figure out finally what I want to do. Well, 39, because I've been running the business for a little bit. But knowing who you are, it's not as simple as you think, because you think about serving others, being a mother, having different roles. That's your role, but who you really want to are, what's your purpose? And part of me, I found that purpose through actually having a mentor, through finding my why and recognizing that from early childhood, I always was fascinated by health, wanting to support health. So now I run the mineralspa.com, which is very much about preventative health, about healing through nature, through the power of nature. On my journey, I've tried to be a lawyer. I also work in social care and different aspects, trying different things. But one of the things that always, the thread that always was there was the health. So once I started really working with who I am, how I feel about it, and the passion around that, and I'm also part of Find Your Why Foundation. So I found my why with support of a great mentor, Dr. Joel Chapman. I really very much so started moving on a journey and taking risks no matter what. So I did TEDx in 2019 at the very beginning of my business.
Wow.
And I think that was a huge jump because I said yes, I went for it. But at that point, I didn't have everything figured out who my avatar is. And you suddenly, after TEDx, got so many people contacting you. So you have to learn on the go. But I wished I knew that earlier. I wished I kind of prepared for things like that earlier, because you're always catching up. But I guess that's part of it, being entrepreneur.
So some of the gals that were here earlier were talking about the need to go even when you don't have everything perfect. Yeah. Just get going. And TEDx, I think, to me, one of the biggest values of TEDx, besides the getting you in the spotlight of more people, but it's really forcing you to narrow down what you're going to talk about, what you're going to actually focus on.
Yeah, it's absolutely focusing you to narrow down, but not only that. TEDx, I haven't got a medical background, so it's personal experiences, years of learning, and obviously reading. I'm fascinated by the research around minerals and vitamins and how they affect our body, and different ways of absorptions, because you can absorb them through skin, you can absorb them through digestion, and so on. But TEDx really require you to prove that, to give that research. Yes. Some other speakers been approved very quickly. I was waiting for my talk to be approved for 2 months, and they said, "Can you give us that research? Because obviously you're not a medic." So that was a huge challenge, a huge waiting game, but such a relief when I saw it finally online.
Yes, absolutely.
But I also, as you said, I also feel it's really that narrowing down. But that narrowing down made me change. I was in the midst of writing my book at the time, The Power of Minerals, Healing Spas of Europe. And actually doing TEDx made me change the chapters and how I communicate with my listeners, because I realized, this is what people want to hear? What is my avatar? So that really brought me back to my avatar. Who are those people that want to hear about this? What do I need to know about them? Where do they shop? What do they do? How do they communicate? What do they love? Because I need to be able to resonate with those who want to hear that message. Not everyone will want to hear my message. So, yeah.
So great. Just fantastic. I'm going to bring Manasa back up here too. Let's go ahead and address the other thing that you mentioned, is that not everyone is going to just run and give you your business. We were talking with Connie about it at the beginning of the session here, about how this can really hurt. You've got all these people who say they support you and love you, and they don't want to do business with you. And this can be like, where is everybody? So Manasa, address that one.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Did you hear what I asked you?
It cut.
Okay. So the question was, what do you do with the sense of rejection when everybody doesn't want to do business with you?
Oh, it's a very normal thing. What happens is, a lot of times, this is exactly what I discussed in my WF event as well earlier today. Not everyone is going to be very, very supportive or come out and say, they would probably just say it. It's only lip service. They wouldn't actually come and work with you, or wouldn't actually really support you in the way that you require it. You just have to keep going ahead and keep moving on and keep working with it anyway. There are a lot of these setbacks that will come to you. There are a lot of people who will say a lot of things. But when it eventually comes down to, you know what you're doing, you know you're confident about what you're doing, and you have to know that there'd be a lot of people waiting to pull you. So you just have to single
Yes.
mind focus,
So
just keep
just
moving.
nod your head yes or no, you guys. Have you ever had someone just blatantly tell you, no, you're not going to make this work. This is not going to work. Has anybody ever told you that?
Yeah, but you have to jump into it and just think it doesn't matter what you say, because they owning that, you're not owning that. So I think just keep going, take action, and the people that resonate with you will come, because
Exactly.
you have to take action, because they say if nothing happens, nothing happens. So you might as well take action and make the best of it. You know, if you're passionate and you have your message and you're clear about your business, you're clear about your boundaries, you do want to continue no matter what anyone else says. And I have actually a quote on this wall which helped me quite a lot over when I was writing a book. I said I'm going to take it down. I didn't. So when I was writing a book, I actually had Abraham Lincoln saying the best way to predict the future is to create it. And every time I tried to stop, I looked at it and I said, no, I need to keep going. And I think that's the point. It's about sharing your message with others. If you're not there and if you're not visible, if you're not sharing, you're not serving.
I think that it's the passion that drives us to do what we were actually literally created to do. I like to do the put your thumb up in the air thing. And this one little inch right there can convict you of a crime in a court of law. That's how unique you are. And there are many people in the world who need what only you can provide. But it's not going to be everybody. It's not going to be everybody. So, Manasa, you want to say something, but included in what you answer right here, I'd like you to say, what do you do with those feelings when it hurts?
On most days, I'll be very honest, it hurts a lot. There'd be days you'd be crying, you don't want to get up and do any work. You really, in the absolute dramatic sense, you just want to go crying somewhere in some corner saying, no, nobody loves me, nobody wants to do anything with me. You can't, nobody can afford that kind of luxury. You have to give yourself those 5 minutes of absolute drama and then move on with it. You can't wait to think about what is going to happen or feel sorry about yourself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time to feel sorry for yourself. That's when you're in the coffin. Until then, work.
That's hilarious. Okay.
But I also think it's kind of recognize your feeling, recognize what you feel.
Yes, absolutely.
Work through it. And when you work through it, you take that power away and then you move on. Because it's not, I'm saying whatever another person is feeling, it's always their it's their feeling, not yours. You have your feeling, you have to deal with that. But then again, what's your bigger why? What's your bigger mission here? And you have to move on. Otherwise, we would never move on any further.
Yes, absolutely. So I am going to real quick take a pause here and I'm going to just encourage you to do something that I train all the time, is to grieve through it. So whatever you face in your business launch that you feel like, okay, this is just too hard. This is too painful. I just can't do this. Just remember to take time to grieve through that loss. You have lost something, but the reality is that in every feeling of a loss, sadness, setback, pain, trial, trauma, drama, whatever, there is an equal or greater seed of good inside that can bloom into something bigger than what you experienced here in your loss. Does that mean you ignore the loss and just hope for the best? Absolutely not. You have to grieve through that loss in order to go ahead and gain the big, wonderful thing that's on the other side of it. So, Manasa, why don't you just respond to that?
I tell you, it's what my mom says. It takes all kinds of people to make this world. You just have to find your kind, find your tribe, learn to work through your grief, process your grief, address it, move on. Don't stick there, don't sit there, but that is only going to pull you back. And that is only going to keep you there. You won't move ahead. There will be absolutely no growth. And anyone with stunted growth is not going to do anything well for themselves. I mean, if you're going to remain stuck in that party of self-pity or sadness or wondering about where is this going, uh, everyone faces that. It's not something that is going to miss the rich or the poor. So it's a universal problem. And right now with the pandemic, it's definitely all over the place.
It's
But
huge.
yes,
Yeah.
it is. But you have to be able to process it and move on from that.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a question from the audience here, and thank you guys for being here as well as for sharing your questions. We don't have time for too many, and we need a very quick answer from you. Alicia, I'm going to give you this one. Women entrepreneurs have different regions, different challenges. What is one of the biggest struggles you faced, and how did you overcome it? And Alicia, I'm actually literally only going to give you 90 seconds to answer that question. So good luck.
Okay, right. One of the biggest challenges I had to face quite a few difficulties in life. I've lost a child, and I also, in the midst of it, went through depression. So I needed to work on myself. And that's why I really feel if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to work on yourself, because the more you work on your mindset, the more you are resilient. And it's okay to, and as you can see right now, I'm speaking about vulnerability, and it's okay to be vulnerable, because when you are vulnerable, you're actually figuring out what you need to do in life, what needs to take priority. So I would say just pause, stop, and see what's happening, observe what's happening for you right now, and decide which one you have to choose to deal with first. I chose to deal with health first, and then I springboarded to be able to work on my business, because I knew at that point I wasn't ready mentally, physically to carry on. So I would say to that person, whoever posed that question, if you're at the crossroads, just stop, pause, observe, write it down, write your vision where you want to be. Don't focus on a negative. Focus on what needs to happen, what you need to do. Recognize the negative, learn from it, because you're figuring out you're vulnerable. So learn from it there and then, but very much focus on a bigger vision, bigger why.
Awesome. And Alicia, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
God bless. Okay, we're going to bring Manasa back for that same question. What was the biggest challenge you faced, and how did you overcome it?
The biggest challenge so far has been the pandemic, and how do you get out of it? See, what happens is in the work that I do, I'm in marketing communications, because there's no sales happening. Literally, the entire world is stopped and is sitting at home. Marketing spends are the first to get affected, and owing to that, the first business that gets really affected is mine and people like me. How do you address that? Because that is a huge chunk of your work, huge chunk of your life that you're risking because of a pandemic that the entire world has stopped. See, what happened then is we used to only focus on certain key areas in the business. Now we're able to support our clients with more, because my partners and I, we decided to start learning. Learn, unlearn, relearn was the entire process, the entire mantra that we decided, where it was learn something new again, learn something that the entire world will need now, that our clients will need now. So start focusing on that a lot more. There are certain areas which might probably become extinct, become redundant at some point. Learn to let go of that, and then try replacing that with something new that everyone will require. And also learn something extra that will keep you in the business, that will keep you informed and aware of what is happening in the world, so that you are able to bring in some sort of value to all your clients, to all your customers, and you're able to move forward from this entire setback as well. This pandemic is teaching the entire world how to redo things, how to reevaluate their lives, their plans, and everything. So that is where this has also come down to.
Oh my goodness, Manasa, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
And you guys, thank you for joining us. Before you go, I want to just share a couple things. First of all, we were just talking about how the pandemic the pandemic is changing everything and how we have to change with it. So if we go, it's not quite loaded over here, but at Marnie.com, right now on the front page, if you go to my website, which is just Marnie.com, on the right-hand side here, you will find a little box, which I guess is just loading right now, but you will find a box that will give you the opportunity to download what I'm calling the COVID Opportunity Scavenger Hunt. So I wrote a book years ago called Scavenger Hunt Handbook. And that includes over 50 scavenger hunts, which is just fun and relational and all that. But this one I wrote to help you identify the hidden treasures in COVID-19. So you're like, what could it possibly be? But the reality is that in COVID-19, there, like I said, whatever there is in front of you right here, it's like there is a seed of something greater inside of it. Whether this thing is good or bad, whether it's painful or exciting, there is a seed inside of it of something greater. So what is the greater good that you can find out of COVID-19, either during it or after it? And so I encourage you to go ahead over to Marnie.com and check that out. Also, if you want to, we talked a lot earlier about having a very clear vision and mission. If you don't know how to do that, there is a vision mission boot camp there that's available for sale. This is going to take about 2 hours, and you are going to emerge with a very clear vision and mission. This is going to help you get to know yourself better, as well as who you want to serve in the long run. The other thing that I want to share with you is just on the very front page of Marnie.com, there's also the ability to, hang on one second, let me get over here, the ability to download, and this one is free as well. Why can't I see it? There we go. Nope, I can't find it. Okay, so I can't find that one. I'll just tell you about it. So at the front page of Marnie.com, you can also download it's called the Success Prep Model. And it is just a front and back, one page, front and back, that I use to take all of my clients, my coaching clients, my consulting clients through before they launch any new big thing. And you can do this on your own. It's absolutely free. So if you just go over to Marnie.com, Marnie.com, you can go ahead and download that there for free and go through it yourself. If you do need coaching, then you can connect with me on the coaching page after that. But a lot of times doing the prep work yourself is enough to clarify. So I want to just thank again all of our guests who were here during this session. We start another session at the beginning of the hour here, and we have some guests we're going to be talking in the next session about how to attract ideal customers. Thank you so much for being here. God bless your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.